Hello and welcome to today's video where I'm going to share with you how to learn self-hypnosis in less than 7 days. Yes, I'm going to share with you everything that you need to understand to be able to master this incredibly powerful technique. So this is part 2 of my series of how to learn self-hypnosis. In part 1, I took you through how to do short form self-hypnosis. And in this video today, because I know there'll be many of you who are new to my channel, I'm going to recap on the basics of how to do self-hypnosis short form. I'll explain what that is in a little while, but I'm also going to go the next step and talk you through how to do long form self-hypnosis. Okay, so I'm going to teach you all of the key ways that you can do self-hypnosis. So I'm going to give you lots and lots of content today, lots and lots of value. And if you get value out of this, please do hit that subscribe button right now to subscribe to my channel to get the latest updates and to also help grow my channel so more people can get access to this incredible methodology that can help people overcome so many issues that they are struggling with. So let's kick off then by quickly recapping and explaining about what is hypnosis. I'm going to do this because a lot of people have misconceptions about hypnosis, that it's some kind of magic, it's something that you have to believe in to make it work. There are all sorts of misconceptions about what hypnosis is. And the reality is that hypnosis is founded in lots of scientific evidence. It's been known for many years that hypnosis, hypnotherapy can get significant results for people in changing not only their well-being, but even in helping people overcome physical issues, pain, etc. as well. So there's lots of scientific evidence that shows that hypnosis is effective for treating many, many issues. But really what hypnosis is, it is about taking your mind into a slightly different, altered state of mind. And we do this naturally all of the time without even knowing it, but it's about taking you to that state of mind where your mind is able to relax, where your mind is able to be receptive to suggestion, to things that you want to think, feel differently, and to effectively reprogramming or rewiring your mind. And when I talk about rewiring, that is simply because hypnosis is based upon the understanding, the scientific understanding of something called neuroplasticity, okay? And I'm not going to get hugely technical here, but think of it like this. So think of when you were a child, or think of children, maybe your children, how children learn, how they're like a sponge. We even talk about them being like a sponge. They can soak up information. This is neuroplasticity. It is about the ability of the brain to absorb, to take on board, to learn. Now, unfortunately, once we get past the age of about 7 or 8, that neuroplasticity tails off and we find it harder to learn. We're less open to learning. So hypnosis is about being able to take you naturally into that mind state, which we still go into from time to time, but to take you into that mind state so you can go into that state of neuroplasticity, that state of being sponge-like, where you can take on board new helpful thoughts and habits about yourself. That is what hypnosis is. Now, a lot of people ask me or say to me, I don't think I can be hypnotized, or only certain people can be hypnotized. Well, the answer is pretty much anybody can be hypnotized. You simply need to want to be hypnotized. I can't hypnotize you against your will. You need to want to be hypnotized. You need to be sufficiently relaxed to allow yourself to enter into the process, and it's a totally safe, relaxing process. You're totally aware, you're totally in control. It's a very powerful, safe approach. So pretty much anybody can be hypnotized. And in my career, I've only ever worked with maybe 2 or 3 people who I haven't been able to hypnotize. And that was during the pandemic, with a couple of people who were in such a state of hypervigilance, they simply couldn't relax enough. But that was really quite an exceptional time, exceptional situation. So what can hypnosis be used for? So hypnosis can be applied to many, many things, okay? So there are many classic applications: smoking, or stopping smoking, addictions, weight loss, anxiety, confidence. It can also be used to help with pain control and a number of physical issues as well. I work with a lot of people with things like asthma, eczema, pain control. It can be used for all sorts of things, peak performance. There's a whole raft of things that hypnosis can be used for and is effective for. So let me get into then self-hypnosis and how to do self-hypnosis. Okay, so hypnosis, we think of it as something that we will typically go to a hypnotist or a hypnotherapist, and they're basically the same thing, just different terms in different countries to help us do that. But actually we can learn how to hypnotize ourselves. Like anything, it's just a technique. It takes a little bit of practice and we can do that ourselves. So I'm going to teach you how to do that today. So what are the key steps? And the first step is about preparation. I mentioned before about being relaxed. So if you're going to do self-hypnosis, or if you're going to do hypnotherapy with a therapist, the preparation is really, really important. So here's the things that you need to think about before you get in a place where you're going to do some self-hypnosis. So first of all, switch off. When you're doing this, you're going to need to switch off any devices, switch off phones, switch off computers, switch off alerts, switch off anything that you don't need to do the session. Okay, so anything you don't need, try and cut out any interruptions. So take the phone off the hook, turn off alerts, maybe put your phone on airplane mode, and put the dogs in the kitchen, whatever it is you need to do. Find a time that's good for it as well. So, you know, if you've got your kids at home running around, that's probably not going to be good, because you're going to always be thinking about what are the kids up to. So, you know, so cut out those interruptions. Find yourself a time where you can ideally be alone, where you can be quiet. You're unlikely to be interrupted. And the next thing to do with your preparation is to find somewhere comfortable to either sit down or lie down. And you can do either, whatever is best for you. So get a nice comfortable chair. I do suggest a chair like I've got here with the back on it, ideally where you've got your feet on the floor, or you can lie down. You can lie down on the couch, lie down on the bed. The key thing is that you feel comfortable and you feel relaxed. So, okay, so those are really the key things. So get yourself into that right environment, create that right environment where you're sufficiently relaxed to go and do this. Okay, so that is the conditions for doing that self-hypnosis. Then obviously you need to think about what it is you want to work on. And I would strongly suggest that you work on one thing at a time. Although lots of issues that we have may be related, focus upon one thing at a time. So for example, let's say that you're going to an interview, you're going for a job interview, and it's an important interview, you really want the job, and you get anxious, you get nervous about job interviews, and you want to go in there. You don't want to go in there being anxious and nervous. You want to be in there being confident, being relaxed, remembering what it is you want to say. So focus upon that one thing, whatever it is that's most important for you. Okay, so in terms then of how you enter self-hypnosis, so I'm going to actually do the easiest way of doing this, which is actually to show you. So I'm going to actually take my glasses off for this moment, and if you want to look at my eyes, you can look at my eyes. I'm not doing anything with my eyes to you, but just simply look at what I'm doing with my eyes. So I'm in this quiet place now. I've got my notifications turned off. I'm sat comfortably on my chair. I've got my feet flat on the floor, my back nice and upright, and I'm going to put my hands, without my hands touching, on my lap. You could maybe put them on the table or put them on the arms of the chair. And you can see my dog walking past. He wants to get in on the action. This will probably send him to sleep as well. So I'm just sat here now, nice and relaxed. What I'm going to do, and I'm going to do these things quickly. You may want to take longer. In fact, you probably need to take longer than me. But I'm going to first of all just focus now on being aware the weight of my body, of that contact of my body. Aware of the weight of my backside on the chair. Aware of the weight and the contact of my back. I'm aware of the contact of my feet on the floor. And I'm aware, and I'm looking now at my hands, focusing on my hands. As I'm focusing on my hands, I'm noticing that my hands are actually beginning to feel quite heavy, pleasantly relaxed, calm to move. Okay, I'm going to look at you because I'm talking to you, but when I look at myself, you might want to try this. Notice how much more relaxed your hands look, because you know we get more of what we focus on. And so now I'm just going to spend a few moments now just being aware of my breath, aware of my breathing. And you might notice, and I've certainly noticed, how my breathing has slowed down, calmed down. My words have probably slowed down as well. So my breath is calming me, relaxing me. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do something that's called the Spiegel eye roll. Okay, and this is something that has two functions. One is it shows a hypnotist or hypnotherapist how receptive you are. And the second thing is it helps you quickly enter a state of hypnosis or self-hypnosis. So just watch my eyes now. You probably won't be able to do this nearly as much as I can do it because I'm pretty used to doing this, okay? If you watch my eyes now, I'm going to come a little bit closer and I'm going to look up. I'm going to roll up my eyes and I'm going into a full zombie look mode now, okay? It probably looks quite funny as I'm looking up. I'm going to take 3 breaths. Breathing in. Breathing in. Breathing in again. And I'm going to close my eyes. I don't know if you can see that there. Obviously, I'm talking to you while I'm doing that, but I'm looking up. You'll see that eye movement, my eyes blinking and fluttering. And that's showing that I'm receptive, very receptive to hypnosis. And as I'm doing that, I'm actually taking myself into a state of hypnosis. And obviously, for this demo, I can't take myself fully into that state. Going into that state, feeling that blinking and fluttering. And now I'm just going to count myself down from 10 to 1. And the easiest way of doing this is to count down some steps, or you can just count down numbers. But I would typically go, I'm going down now from steps 10 and 9 now, aware of the contact of my body. And I'll close my eyes as I was doing this, but I keep my eyes open because you probably don't want to see me with my eyes closed. So if you've got your eyes closed, as you're practicing this, I'm going down steps 10 and 9, feeling my feet on the floor, going down now onto 8 and 7, feeling the nerves and muscles around my neck and my shoulders relaxing, going down now onto step 6, feeling my eyes relaxing, feeling the nerves and muscles around my eyes relaxing, going down now onto steps 5 and 4, being aware of any noise, any sound around me, which is simply relaxing me, taking me deeper, going down onto 3 and 2 now, going deeper, drifting deeper, sinking deeper into this deeply relaxing, powerful place, this sleep of the nervous system as I go down to 2 and 1, going deeper, drifting deeper, sinking deeper. Now for some of you, depending upon how receptive you are, and that eye roll actually, basically the rule of thumb is the more whites of your eye you can see, like I'm looking up, the more receptive you are, the less effort you need, the less time you need to get into hypnosis. The more, or the less receptive you are, or the more practice that you need, because everybody's receptive, you might want to take a little bit longer. So you might want to count down from 20 to 1. Okay, so that is basically how you enter into that state of self-hypnosis. And I mentioned before that there are 2 forms. There's short form and long form. I'm just going to take a sip of my coffee now. Keeping alert because I don't want to go into a state of hypnosis myself now. So short form hypnosis is basically something that you would typically use for performance related activities. And you would typically use it before you go and perform. So for me, if I'm going to an event and I'm presenting, I will spend 5 to 10 minutes doing a short form self-hypnosis. I work with sports people, I work with public speakers, I work with actors, I work with salespeople, people who pitch things for a living, to teach them how to do this short form self-hypnosis. So let's come back to my example of I'm going to use this short form self-hypnosis to go for a job interview. Okay, so let's imagine I'm sat in my car now outside of the office I'm going for this interview for. Okay, and so what I'm going to do for this then is I would do what I just did, get myself relaxed, make it nice and quiet, nice quiet corner maybe of the car park, do my eye roll, count myself down the steps, then I'll be keeping my eyes closed, and then basically what I'd have is a number of affirmations. When I say a number, really 3 to 5 affirmations, and these are things that I want to be thinking and feeling as I go into that interview. So let me just switch into mode now and imagining that I am in that state of self-hypnosis. I'm sat there in my car, I'm about to go into that office, and I would do something like this. I'm going to ad-lib this now. So I'm going to go now. I'm looking forward to this interview. I'm so excited about this interview. I'm going to walk in there. I'm going to walk into that reception feeling so relaxed, feeling so calm, feeling so confident. I'm going to walk in there making an impact because I'm looking forward to this interview. I'm looking forward to meeting the people that I'm seeing. I'm going to find myself standing tall, looking confident. As I meet them, introduce them, I'm going to smile. I'm going to make good eye contact. I'm going to shake hands firmly. I'm going to make a great first impression. And then I might move on to something like, I'm going to go into that interview room. I'm going to sit down with the people I'm being interviewed by. And I'm going to be feeling so calm, so confident, knowing that I'm the best fit for this job. I'm going to remember the points I want to make. I'm going to answer their questions calmly, confidently. I'm going to be the standout candidate. I'm going to give them insight. You get the point. It's the things that I want to do. And obviously, therefore, an interview, things like instant impact, how you interact with people, all these things are incredibly important. So that is basically short form hypnosis. So I would be doing that. I'd be giving myself those affirmations. And then I could either just count myself back up from 1 to 3 or 1 to 5. So like going, I'm going to get out the car now, feeling relaxed, feeling confident. I'm going to go in there wide awake with a beaming smile. I'm going to open my eyes, looking forward and excited to this interview and the day ahead. I could do that, or I could simply open my eyes when I've made my affirmations. Okay, but it is ideal if you can do it. Remember, I talked about doing the eye roll. It's ideal when you're giving yourself those affirmations, because you're only going to be doing this for a few minutes, to keep your eyes up for as long as you can, because when you're doing that, your mind is really in that receptive state. Okay, if you can't do that, that's fine. Just with your eyes closed, just being relaxed, giving yourself those affirmations, trying to visualize yourself in that interview is going to be is going to be really, really powerful. And so I've worked with this on lots of people, and those impressions are important as well. So, for example, when I've worked with professional sports people, particularly individual performers like tennis players, I work with them not just on how they play out on the court, but actually how they go to the locker room, how they walk into that locker room looking confident, looking dominant, looking like they're the person who is full of confidence. And this stuff has a real big impact upon people's performance. Okay, so that's an example of short form self-hypnosis. And I would encourage you to practice this every day. And if you practice this every day for a week, you will master doing this. Every time you do the eye roll, you'll get better. But really the key things, just to recap, are the preparation: get yourself in a quiet place, get relaxed, get comfortable, sit down, do your eye roll, count yourself down the steps. And I've got the steps in the back of this video to help you remember that. And then the affirmations that you want to make. Now, obviously, I'm able to do those things because I'm used to doing that. But for you, it could just be a few simple things that you want to do. I'll feel calm, I'll feel relaxed. But it's really important here that you make these affirmations positive, affirmative affirmations. So do not say, I don't want to feel nervous. Don't say, I don't want to get things wrong, because you will confuse your mind. What your mind will hear is nervous, wrong. What you want to say is, I am relaxed, I will be relaxed, I will be confident, I will be at ease, I am looking forward to it. If you start using words like nervous or anxious, that's what your mind hears. It'll think you want to be anxious, you want to be nervous. So always make those affirmations positive. And there you go, I've got another dog joining me there. So probably just about to curl up and head off to sleep now. Okay, so that is short form hypnosis. So what is long form hypnosis? Long form hypnosis is more like the typical therapy approach to self-hypnosis. Okay, so that is when you are going to be doing a longer hypnosis, and where you probably don't want to ad lib what you're doing. You could do, if you're really good at this stuff, you could just roll it out like I do. But for most people, you're going to want to have a script for doing this. And at the end of this video, I'm going to tell you where you can get some scripts from, where I'm going to give you some scripts that you can download. So again, another reason to subscribe, but I will show you at the end of this video how you can get access to scripts that you can download. So for long form hypnosis, it really is pretty much the same process of what I've just done, but it's longer. And rather than ad-libbing 3 or 4 things, you want more of a formal script that you can write for yourself. So, as I said, I will give you some standard scripts that you can tweak, that you can add in your own words, your own phrases of things that you want to hear. Okay, so you can do those things. I'll just put my glasses back on now. So you need to create that script if you want to do long form. But as I said, up to then, short form and long form, the process is the same, except for when you're doing the long form hypnosis, you're going to have beforehand created a script, and then you're going to record that script. So just to get that clear, is before you sit down to do your long form hypnosis, you're going to have created a script. I'll give you a template for it. You can add your own things in, you can tweak it to meet what you want to hear, what you need to hear, and then you need to record it. So record it out loud. And I know I said no tech, but you can do this without it being online. Ideally, just record it on your phone. If you've got an iPhone, you've got apps like Voice Recorder, Voice Memo, where you can just record it on your phone, okay? And that script should be 10 to 15 minutes long, okay? So you record that script. So having recorded that script beforehand, you're now ready to come and do your long form hypnosis. You've got your phone here on airplane mode, notifications turned off, but you've got your script on your voice recorder or whatever app you might choose to use, that's ready to play. Okay, so you'll go through that process, you'll sit down, you'll roll up your eyes, you'll count yourself down, and you'll simply sit there and relax and listen to that recording. And the recording will take you through that whole script to the end, where at the end you will, again, the script will bring you back into the room. Okay, so we'll finish off that session for you. So you listen to that recording, and basically you need to listen to that recording regularly. Okay, because the more you listen to that recording, the more familiar it will become, the more comfortable it will become. And particularly when you're trying to change the way you think, if you are naturally quite an anxious, nervous person, telling yourself to feel comfortable, to feel confident, to feel relaxed, is something that at first is going to feel a little bit strange, a little bit unfamiliar. You're not used to hearing it. Or if you're doing something else, maybe you're someone who finds it hard to take compliments about yourself, for example, because you've never had nice things said about you. Maybe you've got low self-esteem. Telling yourself positive things at first might seem quite awkward, might seem quite unfamiliar, but the more you hear it, the more familiar it will become. And especially when you're listening to it in hypnosis, in that state of neuroplasticity where your mind is, remember, it's absorbing what it's hearing, it's receptive, it is effectively rewiring what you think about the subject that you are listening to, okay, that you are rewiring yourself for. So you need to listen to that recording, listen to it for a minimum of 14 days. Everybody's slightly different, but typically we can develop new habits in around 14, 20 odd days, new habits of thought. So that 10, 15-minute recording is something you need to listen to every day. Listen to it at least once a day. And like I said, that short form recording is really good for event-based things. And obviously it can have a cumulative effect of making you feel better if you're used to listening to that. But this is more, this long form is more about the sort of traditional approach to therapy. Okay, it's more therapeutic kind of approach. So just to recap on that, the consistency is really, really key. Now, let me be clear here that, really clear here that there are limits to what you can achieve with doing self-hypnosis, okay? There are things that you cannot do that an experienced therapist could do. So, for example, as an RTT hypnotherapist, which is a particularly comprehensive approach to hypnotherapy, to hypnosis, we do what we call regression, which is when we're working with complex issues around anxiety, self-esteem, lack of self-confidence. Often it's not enough to just tell people what they want to hear, what they want to feel. You've actually got to really understand where the issue comes from and really deal with that root cause issue. And it's often in childhood. It's often in childhood that these beliefs, when we have this high level of neuroplasticity, that we take on board some of those unhelpful thoughts about ourselves that then become kind of stuck, become habitual thoughts for people. So that is not something you can do with yourself. You need to be guided through that, doing regression, going back, doing root cause analysis. But not all hypnotists, a lot of hypnotherapists don't do that. In RTT, we do that. So that is something that you can't do. And obviously you haven't got a therapist in the room who can guide you through things. So you are kind of working on using this, you're working on the affirmation side of things. You're not really able to work on uncovering things, reframing things. You're simply able to work upon suggestions. And that in itself can be very, very powerful, particularly for things like smoking, for lots of things. So self-hypnosis can be very, very powerful, and the better at it you get and the more consistent you are, the more powerful it will be. But it's really not a substitute when you really need proper therapeutic interventions, when you're trying to deal with some quite complicated things that may be quite deep rooted. So I hope you found that really, really valuable. I hope you've really found that extremely valuable. And if you have, please do subscribe down below. I'm putting out really powerful content about hypnosis, about other mindset things that I'm sure you'll find really, really helpful and interesting. So please do subscribe down below. Now, I mentioned that you could also get access to my template recordings. So to a template that you can use to adapt, to evolve for your own long form self-hypnosis recordings, those scripts. Those scripts are on my website. It's down below, but it is, as I've got here on my screen at the bottom here, it is www.myfitmind.co.uk. If you go on there, you will find a tab to free scripts, free downloads, and you can access those free scripts to download. So please, if you want to do the long form self-hypnosis, I suggest you do go and get those scripts and work with that. So self-hypnosis, it's easy. Like anything, it takes practice. It's incredibly powerful. It is something that you can learn to do. I would suggest you start off working with short form self-hypnosis to see the value, to see the power of it. And as you go, progress onto some of those longer form self-hypnosis. But you can equally start at the longer form self-hypnosis as well. For example, if you do really want to work on anxiety or an issue like that, where perhaps you don't have the means to be able to go and employ the services of an RTT therapist or a hypnotherapist at this stage. So go down below, get the link to those scripts. If you've got any questions, if you've got any comments, if there's anything that's not clear there, please do put them in the comments section. I promise you I will answer you in person there as quickly as I can. And so I hope it's been clear, but please comment, subscribe, go and download those scripts and enjoy using this incredibly powerful technique that really can make a huge difference in your life. Thanks for listening. I'm Jonathan. I'll see you in the next video.